Hello, good day everyone. So I am Mr. Canton. So I'm here to discuss about Incoterms and how Incoterm or on saan paggamit sa Incoterm. So wala na ito guys, so let's start. So the Incoterm rules or international commercial terms are series or predefined commercial team terms published by International Chamber of Commerce. So they are widely used international commercial transaction or procurement processes. So a series of three-letter trade terms. So to common contractual sales practice and Incoterm rules are intended primarily to clearly communicate the task, cost, and risk associated with the transportation and delivery of goods. So first, where is the delivery to be? Kung asa ang delivery mahimo. So who pays the freight charges of goods? Kinsa mo bayad sa freight charges? O sa who pays the insurance of goods? So who pays the insurance? So the importer versus exporter. So exporter shall refer to a natural judicial person engaged into exportation. So ang exporter guys kay mohog ni siya og seller. Then importer shall refer to a natural juridical person engaged in importation, or shall we say importer kay mo siya ang buyer. So examples, so determine the parties involved. So a seller in Xiamen, China exported a 1/21 to a buyer in Manila. So seller is the Xiamen China, Xiamen, and the buyer, so buyer in Manila. So to determine the parties involved. So a buyer in Cebu, Philippines imported 1/21 from a seller in Busan, Korea. So a buyer in Cebu, and the seller is from Busan. So determine the parties involved. So importer in Manila in Philippines ordered 50 cartons from his exporter in Hanoi, Vietnam. So when we say importer, it is the buyer, and exporter it is the seller. So ang seller diri kay ang Hanoi, then ang importer kay ang Manila. So an exporter in Cebu, Philippines sent 50 cartoons to his importer in Bali, Indonesia. So ang exporter kay ang Cebu, which means ang seller, and the buyer, which is the importer, is in Bali. So the country of origin, country of destination. So inside the country of origin, kay na siya seller warehouse, carrier's warehouse, customs custody, and sa country of destination, kay na siya customs custody, and buyer's warehouse. So there are three freight charges, which is the ocean freight, air freight, main carriage. So when we say ocean freight, so charges for transportation cost of goods by sea via vessel. So by air freight, so charges for the transportation of goods via aircraft. And sa main carriage, kay transportation cost either by sea or air. So magdepende na siya if air ba siya or sea. sa main carriage. So, insurance costs, there are two of them. So, marine insurance or port-to-port insurance. So, marine insurance kay charges for protection to cover the risk in the transportation of goods by sea via vessel. So, ang port-to-port insurance charges for protection to cover the risk is in the transportation of goods air by via aircraft. So, other charges. So, origin other charges. So, all charges incurred by the seller or buyer related to the delivery of goods in the country of origin. So, mga related goods. So, destination other charges. So, all charges incurred by the seller or buyer related to delivery of goods in the country of destination. So, here is the asa nabilang ang origin other charges or and destination other charges. So, origin other charges kay nabilong na siya sa country of origin while the destination other charges kay nasa country of destination. So, here guys, so diri na gid. So, there are 11 Incoterms. So, the first one is X works, free carrier. The third one is carriage paid to or CPT. And the fourth one is carriage and insurance paid to or CIP and free alongside the ship or FAS, free on board or FOB, so cost and freight or CFR, cost insurance and freight or CIF, and delivered at place or DAP, so delivered at place unloaded DPU, and lastly the delivered duty paid or DDP. So X works. When we say X works, it is the seller's responsibility is to make the goods available at seller premises. So, like example, warehouse or factory. So the buyer bears full cost on risk moving the goods from their to destination. So ang buyer na ang responsibility sa other charges such as freight insurance. So X works formula. So X work is equals cost of goods. So X works, so ang timana lang dito diri sa X works kay ang di under ang ilang responsibility. So ang responsibility sa X works kay is ang X work kay sa seller only. Then other charges, freight, insurance kay ang buyer na ang mag-incur na sa bayad. So X work example. So a shipment of automobile parts shows X factory price of 10,000. So exclusive of origin other charges. So ang how much is the X works value? So ang given to the X factory price, so 10,000 and exclusive origin other charges. So when we say exclusive, kay dali siya included, like wala siya labot. So the X works value here kay 10,000. So the next one, the second one, so free carrier or FCA. So the seller fulfills his obligation to deliver when he has handed over the goods cleared for export into the charge of the carrier named by the buyer. So free carrier. So what is a carrier? So carrier refers to the person actually transporting goods or in charge or responsible for operation, transports in airlines, shipping lines, freight forwarders, cargo consolidators, and vessel, operating common carriers, and other insurance charter. So here sa country of origin, so ang FCA na siya sa carriers warehouse. So the formula is X works plus origin other charges. So Muna siya ang timanan nga ang other charges sa FCA. So loading to truck, inland freight, tracking haulage, internal insurance, government, custom clearance, export documentation forwarders, miscellaneous expenses, warehousing, storage permission. So the responsibility sa FCA is the X works is the seller. The other charges, seller. So X work and other charges ang seller ang mag-incurred sa bayad. While the freight and insurance kay ang buyer. So buyer ang magbayad. Then example, a shipment of automobile parts through X factory price of 10,000 does the seller paid origin other charges. So when we say FCA kay ang duha na yang sa seller, duha na ang iyang obligation to pay. So the X works or the origin other charges. So ang pangutana, so how much is the FCA value? So ang FCA value diri kay 10,000 plus the 800 or the origin other charges. So the answer is 10,800. So next is the CPT or the carriage paid to. So the seller pays the freight for the carriage. So carriage kay either sea or via air. So the seller pays the freight for the carriage of the goods to name this destination. So the seller deliver the goods to custody of the carrier. So the country of origins ang seller nagyapon sa carrier's warehouse. Carriage paid to. So ang formula niya is CPT is equals to FCA plus freight. If wala ang FCA, so CPT is equals to X works plus at origin other charges plus freight. So this is the origin other charges. So the responsibility of the seller is the X works other charges and freight, while the insurance ang buyer na mag responsibility ana. So sa so far kay naroon siya pattern. So ang pattern kay so magkataas like magkataas, so ang seller na ang mag-incur mag-responsibility sa bayad sa other charges, freight o sa X works. So example, a shipment of automobile parts show X factory price of 10,000. So the seller paid the origin other charges of 800 and freight charges of 1,000. So CPT, so gi-appeal na og bayaran sa seller is nadagdag niya is freight man. So the seller freight paid other charges and freight charges. So pangutan na how much is the CPT value? So the CPT value is 10,000 plus 800. So 1,800 plus ang freight niya is 1,000. So the CPT value is 11,800. So masang ang timanan lang jud diri kay na magkadugay ang seller ang mag-incurred sa bayad sa other charges, freight of X works. Then ang buyer, ang seller siya may mag-hold na obligation sa tanan sa insurance kay ang buyer. So the next is the CIP. So carriage and insurance paid too. So the sellers pays the freight and transport insurance against risk of or loss the goods. So sa CIP guys, so sa atong nabantayan nga sa CPT, ang na-incurred sa seller is kotobra sa freight. So diri sa CIP, na siya insurance. So the seller pays insurance and freight against risk or loss damage to the goods during main carriage. The seller deliver the goods to the custody of the courier. So diri the contents so ang seller is still at the carrier's warehouse. So the formula of the CIP is CIP is equals if say plus freight insurance, then if wala ang FCA, so pangit taon ni mang X works bilang X works, then other charges plus freight and insurance. So the responsibility sa CIP guys kay X works, other charges and freight and insurance. So sa seller na ang responsibility sa tanan sa mga babayaran kay mo na lang nasabutan na si seller ang magbayad sa seller sa other charges, exports, freight, and insurance. So, kung sa lang kasabutan, mao na gina. So example. So, a shipment of automobile parts of shows ex-factory price of $10,000. So the seller paid origin other charges of 800 and freight charges of 1,000 and port-to-port insurance of 150. So, di ba, sa CIP, CPT, wala siya insurance. So, sa CIP, so sa ang nagbayad sa CPT sa insurance is the buyer man. So, sa CIP, ang seller na. So, how much is the CIP value? So, CIP value, so the X works here is 10,000. Then the origin other charges 800. So 10,800 plus freight 11,800. And na may nadagdag na insurance, so 150. So 11,800 plus 150 is equals to 11,950. So mo na siya ang CIP value. So FCA, CPT, CIP distinction. So there just say kanang pattern guys para na masabtan nato ang FCA. So ang nag-incurred sa freight of insurance is the buyer. Then sa CPT sa ang incurred sa ang responsibility sa seller is the freight, and the insurance naman sa case ang buyer. So sa CIP kay seller ang na-incurred or ang responsibility sa freight insurance. So maoro din timanan ang FCA, CPT, CIP nga nagsunod na jud na. So ang so ang buyer jud maguna if sa buyer jud ang mag-incurred or responsibility sa freight insurance if FCA. Then sa CPT naman sa freight kay ang seller. Then sa insurance is the buyer. Sa CIP, seller na dyan tanan sa freight insurance, other charges, X works. So let's continue. So diri na punta sa free alongside the ship. Free alongside the ship or free alongside the ship or FAS. So the seller fulfills his obligation to to deliver when the goods have been placed alongside the vessel. So alongside the vessel, nasa kilid sa vessel. On the port quay or in lighters at the named port of shipment cleared for export. So what is quay? Quay is a landing place or pier, usually of a solid construction where vessels berth to load or unload cargo. So like this, quay mo. So mo siya ang quay. Kuwa. So free alongside the ship or APS. So what is a lighter? Lighter is a boat with a flat bottom designed for transport cargo between ports or through navigate waters. So muna siya ang lighters. So ang the country of origin, so ang seller nag-incurred na sa ang seller nagkaanam na sa custody. While the country of origin sa buyer's warehouse nagapon so free alongside the ship. So if yes plus X works, naman siyang formula. X work plus origin other charges. So ano siya ang mga other charges na dagdag export documentation, forward fee, miscellaneous expenses. So the responsibility sa FAS is X works, other charges with insurance. So ang responsibility sa seller or incurred niya yung bayaran is the X works and other charges. While the buyer naman kay ano siya, ang iyang mabayaran lang is the freight and insurance. So the seller sa FAS, so the seller fulfills his obligation to deliver the goods when the goods have been placed alongside the vessel. Ano pa? To further understand kung sa Incoterm guys, for me, aray ko nagbase sa sa responsibility niya. So when we say FAS, more on the alongside the ship na umragdol na sa dagat while the FCA CPT kay more like on the carriage man siya, so via air. So free alongside the ship. Examples. So a shipment bulk cargo shows ex-factory price of 10,000. The seller paid original charges. So original charges. So ang seller na mag-incurred sa bayad. So how much is the FAS value? So a factory of 10,000. 10,000 plus 875. So 10,875. So muna siyang FAS value. So guys, di man na dyan na ito nga ang FAS is like more likely siya o FCA nga ang X work o other charges seller ang nag responsibility nga mobayad. So free on board or FOB. So the seller fulfills his obligation to deliver the goods when the goods have been loaded on the board the carrying vessel nominated by the buyer at the name of the port of shipment. So still, ang country of origin kay the seller is na nasa custom custody. So free on board formula. So X works plus origin other charges. So same na dyan sila sa FCA or di sa if so ang FAS, FOB, FOB, FAS, FOB, same na dyan sila nga sa so free on board balik ta kay man nga may something. So FOB, FAS, or FCA, so same na din sila og formula like X works plus origin other charges. So sa nabantay na to na kaning red kay mo na siya ang napuno sa mga other charges included. So responsibility sa FOB is seller kay X works all other charges, and freight is the buyer and the insurance. So FOB free on board. So a ship example is a shipment of electrical equipment units shows X works price of 15,000. The seller paid the origin other charges. So sa FOB, so ang responsibility sa seller kay kuan man sa X works of origin charges. So ato na siya i-add ang 15,000 o 900. So ang 15,900 kay mo na siya ang FOB value. So CFR, cost and freight. So the seller fulfills his obligation to deliver the goods when the goods have been loaded to the port carrying vessel limited by the buyer. At the name of the port shipments, the seller pays the freight, the charges. Pays the freight charges. So the country of origin, so ang seller kay still at the customs custody. Cost and freight responsibilities sa seller. So ang responsibilities sa seller na bayad or bayaran is the exports, other charges, freight, and while the buyer kay ang insurance na lang. So exports. So di ba sa sa FCA, CPT, and CIP kay same na din sila, same na siya responsibility, and dahil siya sa pattern. So ang responsive, so to understand more, so to understand yun na masabtan yun kay ari dito magtanaw sa responsibility nila. So sa CFR, FOB plus freight. So a shipment of electrical equipment unit show X works price 50,000, celebrate original charges 900, and free charges. So nabantay niyo diri nga ang add is the freight charges, so which is the 1,200. So 15,000 plus 900 plus 1,200. 10,000 plus 900 plus 1,200. So how much is the CFR value? So ang CFR value is 17,100. So mo siyang total CFR value. So cost and freight. So for CIF, So seller fulfills obligation when the goods are loaded board carrying vessel, board carrying vessel, nominated by the buyer at the name port. The buyer, seller pays the freight charges and insurance. So formula, FOB freight insurance. If walang FOB, X works as origin other charges plus freight of insurance. So the responsibilities, so, so X works other charges freight insurance. So ang seller mo'y responsibility sa tanan, sa X works other charges freight of insurance. So ang seller jud ang responsibility kay mo lang sabutan. So, di ba, same na dun sila sa CIP. Ang nakalahi lang nila no kay ang ang CIP is release the carriage speed. I mean CPT kay carriage speed 2. So, ang kalahian na is carriage man kay so either via air. So, ang kaning CIF kay alongside murag sea via sea man via sea ang yang importation or exportation. So example sa CF sa shipment of electrical equipment unit shows X works price or given ng X works 15,000. The seller paid original charges 900. Free charges 1,200 naman insurance. So ano po na oras sa CIF kay insurance. So 15,000 plus 900 plus 1,200 plus marine insurance. So 150. So total of 17,250. So mo na siya ang CIF value. So cost insurance per example. So a shipment of electrical equipment units shows X works price of 15,000. So the seller paid original charges of 900 free charges of 2,200. So sa CF insurance ay napuno. So let's add this all. So 15,000 plus 900 plus 1,200 plus 150. So ang total is 17,250. So mo lang CF value. So to identify sa CF kay response usa sa mga ma-identify nimo sa CF kay is the cost or the I mean the other charges like so cut. So example of CF. So a shipment of electrical equipment unit shows X works 15,000, seller paid already charges 900, free charges 1,200, and marine insurance 150. So ato na siyang iadtanan kay so ang kay CIF kay seller man jud ang responsibility sa tanan. Like siya na ang obligation sa bayranan padulong sa the importer sa buyer. So ang total CIF value niya kay is 70,250. So next Incoterm is wala pa diri. So FOB. So kani mo na timana na to sa insurance o sa fleet. So sa FOB kay buyer ang responsibility sa fleet of insurance, while the CFR kay ang seller ang responsibility is ang freight only. I mean not the only freight but the other charges and the ex-works ang seller mo ang nag-incurred or responsibility sa bayaran. So ang sa while the sa CFR si buyer ang iyang responsibility na lang kay ang insurance. So alita sa CIF, so siya na ang responsibility sa tanan. Like the buyer, wala na siya bayaran. So mao na siya so ang buyer wala na ilabot sa bayaranan. So like wala siya other charge, wala siya laing problemahon. So ang seller na ang nagbayad sa other charges, ex works, freight, o insurance. So same na din sila sa CIP. Same na sila formula but lahi lang jud nilang name. So sa akong pagsabot, so ari jud ko nagtanaw sa responsibility nila. So diri last, so tignan ka sa ika 9 Incoterm. So there 11 man. So sa number 9 is they delivered at place or DAP. So the sellers delivers the goods when the goods are placed at the buyer's disposal on the arriving means of transport ready for unloading at the buyer's warehouse. The seller paid the freight charges, and so sa kaning sa DAP guys, kay destination niya sa goods kay nasa cost sa buyer's warehouse. So waiting na lang siya para i-unloading. Waiting na siya or ready na siya para i-unloading sa buyer's warehouse. So ang formula ni sa DAP kay FOB plus freight, destination, other charges. So muna siya ang mga other charges, destination, other charges. So sa DAP guys, kay wala na ta sa origin, na ta sa country of destination or means or the buyer's premises. So destination charges, destination total handling charges, less container load charges or LCL. Destination import arrester charge and wharfage due, destination inland freight, tracking on haulage, destination internal insurance. So responsibility niya kay sa DAP kay FOB or FCA is equals sa seller, sa freight seller gyapon, destination seller gyapon. And sa insurance so ang buyer na jud na kay buyer kay ready for unloading naman siya. So ang buyer na may responsibility na. So example, shipment of critical equipment. Unit shows FOB value of 15,900. The seller paid the freight charges 1,200. So ang other, so LCL charges, so SL charges is also called, so sa matawag niya sa other charges kay, so destination other charges. So 100,000. I mean $100. So destination freight, and insurance is 80 and respectively. How much is DAP? So kani siya ato rin siya tanan kay 100, 100 plus 80. So the DAP value is 7,290. So muna siyang DAP. So ang timanad, ang cluean ng, the cluean ng DAP guys kay ang ready for unloading. Naabot na siya sa buyer's warehouse and ready for unloading sa at the buyer's warehouse. So the 10th Incoterm, which is the delivered at place, unloaded, or DPU. So when you say DPU, the sellers they delivers when the goods are unloaded. So na-unloaded na from the arriving means of transport at the buyer's warehouse and placed at the buyer's disposal. The seller paid freight charges. So sa DPU guys, so nana siya underline na nga unloaded. So when we say unloaded nga, so na habwa na nga nahabwa from the LBMS transport at the buyer's warehouse and place sa katong mga goods or mga unsa pa na sa nagibutang siya sa buyer's disposal. So content region. So formula sa DPU is FOB plus freight of destination other charges. Then so ang napunuan diri sa DPU is the destination unloading charges at buyer's warehouse. So napuno sa unloading charges kay gi-unload naman so naging na other charges, naging na other bayaran. So ang responsibilities niya guys kay same na sila sa DAP. So, DAP. So FOB, freight destination and charges. So ang seller na ang responsibility gyapon ana. So sa insurance is ang buyer gyapon. Same lagi sila og sa DAP but ang nakalahi lang gid nila is ang other destination, other charges. So example, a shipment of electrical equipment units shows FOB. So FOB of $15,000, $15,900. So the seller paid freight charges of 1,200, destination other charges or the other charges, destination freight and insurance of 80 and 10 respectively and destination unloading. So appeal pa siya sa other charges. So total of 15,900 plus freight 1,200 plus 100 for the other charges, 80 other charges, 10 and 5 for the other charges. So the total DPU value is 17,295. So timana gyud to sa DPU guys kay unloaded na siya and gibutang na siya sa buyer's disposal nga lugar. So the last Incoterm, which is the ika-11, ika-11 nga Incoterm, which is the delivered duty paid or DDP. So when you say DDP, guys, the sellers deliver when the goods are placed at the buyer's disposal and are being ready for unloading at the buyer's warehouse. The sellers pays the freight charges. So, dali. So, the seller deliver the goods are placed. So, nabutang na siya sa buyer's disposal and the arriving means transport na ready na po siya i-unloading at the buyer's warehouse where the seller paid the freight charges. So, 3, the country origin. So, na siya sa buyer's warehouse. So, formula, same na din sila. So, DDP, DAP, o DPU. So, they are all the same formula and responsibilities. Pero, ang kalihan lang yun nila is the destination other charges. So, the destination other charges, guys, sa DDP, kasi na-add tulo ka destination other charges, which is the importation document, clearances, import duties and taxes, and the import miscellaneous expenses. Example like warehousing, storage of fumigation, or other, etc. So as I say guys earlier na responsibility sa sa seller is the FOB or the FCA or freight or destination. While ang responsibility na gyud sa buyer is the only insurance. So example, a shipment of electrical equipment units shows FOB value of 15,100. Seller paid the freight insurance. So ang napuno diri kay import duties taxes. So 500. So 15,900 plus 1,200, 100 plus 80 plus 10 plus 150 plus other charges, import duties and taxes mga na puno. So, the total of DDP value total of $17,795. So, mga siyang DP value. So, to summarize things up guys, let's recall, so mga their clue kung unsa ni siya nga type of Incoterm. So when you say DDP guys, balik guys kay ready na siya for unloading at the buyer's warehouse, and naka-handle sa mga goods kay na-place na siya sa buyer's disposal, and ready na po siya i-unloading sa buyer's warehouse. And as I say guys nga ang DDP, DAP o DPU kay they are the same responsibilities and formulas. Ang nakalian na gid nila is their other charges or destination other charges. So sa DPU guys, so seller is delivers. So the DPU, when you say DPU guys, so ang flow lagi niya ni kay is unloaded from the arriving means of transport. So unloaded niya sa at the buyer's warehouse and placed at the buyer's disposal. So sa DDP kay na-place na siya sa buyer's disposal, then and ready na po siya unloading sa buyer's warehouse. And sa DPU, sa DAP, so ang clue sa DP na ma-identify na to siya nga DAP is ready for unloading at the buyer's warehouse. So ready na siya unloading sa buyer's warehouse kay please kay same na siya sa DDP, ready for unloading na po siya sa buyer's warehouse. So To continue guys, the sellers, so the Incoterm delivery, so para masabtan na to diri, sabtan na to on kung unsay Incoterm ang nagamit or to summary ni siya. So the seller's warehouse or factory. So X works muna siya X works. So custody of the carrier, which is the FCA, CPT, and CIP. And alongside the vessel or lighter, so muna siyang FAS. Or on board the vessel, muna siyang FOB, CFR, CIF. And buyer's warehouse or factory, muna siyang DDAP, DPU, and DDP. So, here. So, Incoterms mode of transportation. So, kani kay applicable for sea transport only, kama siyang FAS, CFR, CIF. So, Incoterms mode of transport. So, applicable to all modes of transport. So, man siyang FX works, FCI, CPT, CIP, DAP, o DDP. I mean, DPU, DDP. So, to understand sa Incoterm guys, so, naroon siya pattern. So, as I understand sa Incoterm guys, nakasabot ko. So, while Sir Linaw discussing kay ang akong nabantayan is their responsibility. And so, when we say FOB, ang responsibility niya kay sa seller is the exports of other charges. While the CFR is ang responsibility sa seller kay exports other charges and freight. Then sa CIF kay ang responsibility sa seller jud kay ang tanan. So ang wala na responsibility ang buyer, wala na operation bayad sa mga other charges, mga meron sa padulong sa importation or exportation. So sa X-Work na sad is the imong basihan sa X-Works kay ang goods kay available at the seller's premises. Then ang iyang responsibility sa seller is ang X-Works rigid. So sa FCA, so the clue or ma-identify mo ang as FCA kay gi-handed over the goods and the charge of the carrier named by the buyer man siyang FCA, and ang yung responsibility kay sa seller is ang X-Works or other charges. Then ang CPT, so the clue sa CPT is the seller's pays the freight, the carriage. And ang CPT kay ang the seller or the goods are delivered sa custody of the carriers. So ang responsibility sa CPT sa seller is the X-Works, other charges, and the freight. And sa CIP kay so the seller deliver the goods to the custody of the carrier. So seller deliver the goods na and against the risk. So mo siya timanan against the risk. So na insurance against the risk of loss or damage sa goods. So when you say loss or damage or against risk, so na siya insurance ang responsibility. So ang seller kay siya na ang responsibility sa tanan. which is the seller X works, other charges, and free freight or insurance. So, diri, so let's identify kung unsa sa nga type of Incoterm. So, the seller was instructed by the buyer to deliver the goods at the deliver the seller's factory. So, seller's factory, so, or seller's premises. So, ang type of Incoterm ani kay is X works. So, next is so the seller delivers the goods to the buyer's warehouse to deliver the goods. Buyer's warehouse, so nasa sa buyer's warehouse or the country of the destination. So it's either DDP, it's either DDP, DAP, or DPO. So na naman siya import duties and taxes included or import documents clearances. So ang storage dani kay DDP. Oh, DP. So the seller agreed the delivery custody of the shipping line per request. The buyer, the seller only paid free charges. So custody. So so free charges. So CPT kay custody pa man. So napa siya sa custody. Shipping line per request of the buyer. So free charges. So the seller delivers the good to the buyer's warehouse unloaded from the truck upon arrival. So unloaded na siya guys. So na siya country of origin. Seller paid the freight and charges. The freight and charges. So unloaded. When siya unloaded kay DPU. If dili siya DAP kay unloading man and DDP unloading man siya. So DPU. So the seller was instructed by the buyer to deliver the goods to positive to freight forwarder. Or the seller did not pay the freight charges and insurance cost. So deliver the goods. So if CA wala man why FCA kay the seller did not pay the freight and charges naman. So only the um other charges and X works. So the FCA ang answer. The seller delivered the goods on board the vessel or on board the vessel and the seller paid the freight charges and insurance. Pays the freight of insurance on board naman. So CIF. Kaya na siya insurance of freight. So ang nabayaran sa seller. Muna siya ang responsibility. So the seller agreed to hand over the goods to an airline. So airline man, so it's either FCA, CPT, or CIP. So the seller paid the freight charges and insurance. So the seller paid the freight of charge of insurance kay ang responsibility sa I mean ang mabayaran so ang timanan di mo diri kay freight of insurance man nabayaran sa seller. So CIP. So the seller was instructed by the buyer to load the goods on board the vessel. On board the vessel, the seller only paid the freight man. So dili siya matawag nga um, CFOB or CF. So the word the seller and the payment pay charges wala insurance. So wala insurance kay CFR. Brother. So lastly, so the seller agreed to deliver the goods on board the vessel as per request by the buyer. However, the seller did not pay the freight. So walay gibayaran og maray insurance. So answer gid ani kay on board the vessel man. So FOB kay if di po siya CFR kay wala man siya gibayaran nga freight. Wala siya dili sad siya CIF kaya wala sad siya gibayaran nga insurance. So na atong choice gid is ang FOB. Oh, lastly, so the seller delivers the goods alongside the vessel. So clue na siya ang alongside the vessel as instructed by the buyer. So the seller did not pay the freight charges and insurance. So wala po siya gibayaran nga freight charges of insurance. And ang clue niya is alongside the vessel. So answer niya kay A, FAS. And that's all for my report. So hoping you understand while I'm and that's all. Thank you and hope you understand the Incoterm.